time talking to him. His name is Freeway. Rick, the man Ross. Say hello to the people.
How y'all doing?
A lot of people that are probably listening to me right now don't really know when I say Freeway Rick Ross. A lot of them keying on Rick Ross. They don't really know. They're like, huh? What? So can you help me understand a little bit more about exactly who you are?
Well, I grew up in Los Angeles in the early 60s, 70s, and 80s. Striving to be a tennis pro. Was good enough to go to college and play tennis, but I never learned how to read and write, so my tennis career was derailed for lack of education. Started selling drugs in 1979. Went on to make as much as $3 million in one day. Got arrested, got a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Taught myself how to read and write while I was in prison. And here we are today. To make it short and sweet.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to. There's several different routes we could take, but I want to deal with what you were doing in hip hop and the music industry. In your estimation, could you give us your understanding of how the business and hip hop, how they were connected early on?
Absolutely. Take for instance for LA, for instance, I was doing hip hop. We were throwing parties, we had the turntables.
Give us like a time frame. So let's put it in perspective.
79, 80.
Okay.
We were throwing parties. Uncle Jam Army was already throwing parties. We were trying to copy what they were doing. Master Spade was the first guy in LA with a drum machine.
Wow.
Where Dr. Dre eventually learned how to produce on the drum machine. He got his cocaine from me.
Wow.
So they were definitely well connected. We believe that if you follow the cocaine trail, you will follow the rise in every city of hip hop. You go from city to city. When New York got on is when New York rose into hip hop. When the South, New Orleans, when they got on, with the Master P's and the Babies and the rest of them. If you follow the trail, you can see how they kind of boosted each other.
So, okay, you're on the West Coast, and so things in terms of how that connected what was going on the East Coast, was there a connection between what you were doing? Because I understand that you weren't just in LA. Eventually, you kind of branched out. Do you feel like you had an influence on folks in other places?
Absolutely. The drugs started in LA, but they transcended all over the country. It's the thing about drugs, they have a way of traveling, even though it doesn't have any power of its own, but the power that people give it allows it to travel not only around this country, but around the world as well.
Okay, so fast forward. Based on what you've been able to see today, what is your take on the industry today?
Well, definitely the guys who made it, I almost guarantee you had some form of somebody who was in the drug business who helped them with their finances. Whether it helped them do shows, buy them clothes, buy them studio time, buy them equipment. Most of those guys got a boost from the streets. And that's why I believe hip hop is so fascinated with the streets. I tell them all the time, I don't necessarily care for the message that hip hop is giving, but I understand. When you're a young black male growing up in the ghetto, your first hero is going to be a drug dealer, more than likely.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a lot of people listening right now. They're like, why Pastor G sit up here interviewing somebody and they don't understand? I want them to really understand your perspective on what you just said, and that is basically, when you give a young man limited number of options, the you can pretty much predict which way they're gonna run.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
So can you really share, especially like early on, because you've even said that, you've even made statements about the fact that, with Crips and Bloods, people have their own perspective on them in terms of the violence and the gangs, but your perspective was a little different early on, the way you saw them interact and how the work that you were doing actually brought them together. So can you share that perspective even on your own, from your own life?
Well, at one time when drugs were plentiful in the neighborhood and money was flowing, it was the first time that I ever saw after. I remember when the Crips and Bloods didn't fight. I remember when they played football against each other. And I can remember one time coming from the beach, we went on a bike ride to the beach, and when we got back, they had told us that somebody had killed one of the Bloods in the park. And that's the first time that we ever knew that the Crips and Bloods ever had a fight. Before that, we didn't know that Crips and Bloods fought. Only thing we knew was they were two separate neighborhoods who played football against each other. Well, after that, I had never saw Crips and Bloods together again. They were separated. But when we started selling drugs, you started to see Crips on Blood streets and Bloods on Crip streets. It was like they were working together for a common cause, and that common cause was for everybody to have economic gains. And some of my friends say that was the first peace treaty that we had in LA. So definitely I saw them put down their differences in order to make money.
I really wish more people could hear what I'm about to ask you now, because we're going to get a little deep. Based on your experience, you've been through a lot, good, bad, and different. How you came out, only God knows in your own head how you feel about how you come out of all of that. But when you look at the opioid crisis that's going on in this country, and you compare that and the response to that as opposed to what you dealt with early on, let me see. Let me read my question. When you see the opioid spreading throughout rural America, do you think politicians approach it differently than crack or powder, and why?
Absolutely. Totally different.
Why?
The opiate epidemic now is being dealt with as a medical problem and not a criminal problem. The crack cocaine was dealt with as a criminal problem. They took guys like me and made us appear to be animals, even though I have absolutely no violence in my background.
A lot of people don't realize that.
I have absolutely no violence in my background. The only violence they tried to put on me when I went to court was that I was a Crip. And the only way they could try to do that is because I stayed in the Crip neighborhood. But I never told anybody that I was a Crip. I have no tattoos. I ran with some Crips before in high school, in junior high school. Some of my family members, Crips, my brothers. But I never gangbanged. I never saw myself as a gangbanger. But they wanted to put that in my jacket in order to make it appear that I was this animal that they had been painting us out to be. Now with the opiate epidemic, it's urban white kids mostly getting involved. And they said that it's a medical problem, and not a criminal problem. So what that means is that these young white kids won't be going to prison for 20 and 30 years. They'll be going to treatment centers where the government has already allocated money. One of my friends owned a treatment center for to treat their illnesses. And I mean, I would hope that they're not doing it just because it's white.
Can we get real though? Come on, let's just be real.
I believe that they're going to do everything they can for this opiate epidemic, for urban America. I don't think that they did the same thing when it was us on the other end. They treated us more like criminals. They felt that they could incarcerate their way out. Right now we got over 600,000 black men in prison for non-violent drug offenses. Obama let out a few thousand, but that was just a drop in the hat. I knew a guy who was 22 years old when when he went to prison, and the only thing he went to prison for was selling drugs, because he became a big drug dealer. You know, he was young. You know, he had Rolls Royces and Ferraris and all the toys, but he was still only 22 years old. They gave the man a life sentence without the possibility of parole. He wound up doing 30 years. He was just released a couple weeks ago, a good friend of mine. So when you see that happening, and you know it's not going to happen in the opiate epidemic, which I don't want it to happen. I don't think nobody who commits what they call a victimless crime. Drugs in the courthouse is considered a victimless crime. And what that means is that there's nobody that's going to come to court and say, oh, he hit me in the head with a bat. He put a pistol on me, he robbed me, he took my wallet. We know in drug crime it's not like that, because they said it's two consensual adults who are committing a crime together. So the crime that I committed on you, who agreed for me to commit the crime on you. So for them to turn that into a violent act, they needed to add other elements to it to stipulate the violence.
So it just feeds the prison industrial complex. Just feeds that machine.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So if somebody told my 19-year-old son, hey, I'm about to show you how to make more money you've ever seen in your life. Okay, you know what I mean when I say that?
Absolutely.
Somebody was to tell me that.
They told me that.
What advice or what would you tell him based on your experience? If somebody said that to him, what would you say to him?
Well, I would tell him they probably tell him the truth. If you do the right things, you could become rich and wealthy. But on the other end of that, it becomes heartache. You also may be looking at a life sentence in prison without the possibility of parole. You also might get killed, or kill somebody, or get your whole family killed. You know, when I sit in prison and when I was sitting out writing my book, I thought about the chances that I was taking, and the sacrifice that I was willing to make. I had pretty much sacrificed my whole family's life, because I had been in prison for people who went in and killed everybody in the house, including the babies. So I know that those things take place inside of these games, and for me to have got into that game, I had put my whole family in jeopardy.
Alright, they're telling me I gotta wrap up. I know you got your book, Freeway, Rick Ross.
I'm gonna come on the radio. I like your question. We're gonna try to do an interview on the air.
I try to study up. So I tell you what, you got a book. I want to talk about the book. I'm gonna pick up the book today. I kind of know quite a bit about you already, but I want to make sure that I share this on my Facebook page, Twitter, and all those places. Y'all get to looking for it. And if you have any questions for Freeway, just go and hit me up. This is Pastor G.